This morning, under the deep blue sky and bright sunshine, Mr. Tan's sawing team received news from the residents of the northern residential area of Binduong New City. They needed the sawing team to process a quantity of wood at Mr. N and Mr. Tu's house, then split it into small pieces for firewood. In addition, at the edge of the forest, some trees were damaged by insects and died, and also needed to be cut so that the residents could dry them for firewood. Mr. Tan, as usual, was the one who started the work with a smile on his face. "Wow, today's work is quite a lot, guys, let's get ready to go," he said, full of excitement. The whole team began to check the equipment, from chainsaws, axes to the pulleys needed to split the wood. The chirping of birds around the team's work area added to the cheerful atmosphere, and the rumbling sound of the chainsaw seemed to be in harmony with nature. The first destination on today's journey was Mr. N's house. Upon arrival, the sawing team quickly saw that Mr. N had already gathered large logs. Mr. N, a simple farmer, happily welcomed them. "Thank you for coming. I plan to split these logs into firewood for the coming rainy season, but the logs are too big for me to handle, so I need your help." Mr. Tan looked over the pile of logs, carefully measured them, then divided the team into groups. Mr. Min and Mr. Tan will take care of sawing the logs. The rest of us and I will take care of splitting and cleaning up. Mr. Tan gave decisive instructions, and each person got to work. The sound of the chainsaw rang out, steady like a familiar rhythm of skilled workers. Each large log was gradually broken down into smaller pieces, just enough for people to split into firewood. The working atmosphere was bustling but still relaxed, because the warm sunlight and cool air of the early morning made everyone feel comfortable. Mr. Tu, Mr. N's neighbor, was also ready with a pile of logs in his yard. "I just cut down this tree last week, please help me finish it so I can split it into firewood." Tu waved from afar. Looking over the pile of wood, Tan nodded. "Don't worry, we'll do it soon." The work was carried out smoothly and carefully. The jokes between the team members added to the excitement. After finishing the work at An and Tu's house, the sawing team continued to the northern edge of the forest. This is where there are trees that have been damaged by worms, or are old and weak and no longer have vitality. The villagers hope that the sawing team can help to handle them to prevent them from falling dangerously and to use them as firewood. Upon arrival, the sunlight through the foliage created a peaceful but equally brilliant picture of nature. The large trees, although no longer healthy, were still an important part of the forest. The sawing team divided up to survey. "These trees are also big, but it's okay, we will do it little by little," Tan carefully instructed everyone.
Theo workday more meticum when working with than tricks, BK we have to calculate to cut them safely without affecting the surround tricks. The sound of chai sang contin to ring out, my set with Jefferson chapter. Remember the author when we encounter a tree this big. Minh Tông an old story about the time the sawing team had to deal with a young old tree in the middle of the village while working. The team loudly, written a happy, lighter atmosphere amidst the hard work.
As the large logs were gradually sawn into smaller pieces, Tan and his brothers continued to split them into pieces that were easy for people to dry and use as firewood. The whole team worked steadily, no one seemed tired even though the work was quite heavy. Because they knew that each log they sawed, each piece of firewood they split would be an important source of fuel for the people in the upcoming cold and rainy days. The sun rose higher, the sunlight was brighter but not harsh. The large trees around provide cover, creating a cool and pleasant space for the sawing team to continue their work. The sound of sawing, the sound of axes, and the laughter of the brothers resounded like a country song, blending with the chirping of birds on the branches. Tan's sawing team is not only workers, but also close friends, always facing the hard but meaningful work together. At noon, when the work was almost finished, Tan stopped for a moment, sat under the tree, and admired the results of the whole team. The logs had been sawed into small pieces, and piles of firewood were ready for the villagers to take home to dry. "We worked so fast today." Tan laughed loudly, wiping the sweat from his forehead. "Maybe we can go home early this afternoon." Tan laughed along, satisfied. "Yeah, we'll go home early, but we'll probably stop by a roadside cafe for a glass of iced tea. The weather is so nice, it would be a waste not to take advantage of it." The whole team cheered in response, a small joy after hours of hard work. When everything was done, Mr. Tan looked back once more. It was an effective and joyful working day. This work not only helped the people but also brought the whole team pride for having contributed a small part to everyone's lives. And more importantly, they did it under the beautiful sunlight, in harmony with the fresh nature of a new day. Ca doi cham rai Thursday don dung siu, cam thay hai long voi and hung gi de lam duok. Ho bat dao len xe, hung ve chuan noak ven duong ma on tan de hua, de kung nao chia se them vi ka chien koi truok kai trov na. Mot gay lam vik nua troi qua, trong tieng qua mai va nu koi qua and hung nuoi tho go, trong on nang vang map qua ben duong.